The aftermath of the Pahalgam attack. Nearly 24 hours after that attack, Pakistan was quick to distance itself. The Defence Minister Khwaja Asif called the attack a homegrown rebellion and said that they must not be blamed. But as the days have passed, as India has continued to mount pressure, Pakistan was forced to show its cards. Pakistan's Deputy Prime Minister equated the terrorists first with freedom fighters. Only days later, Defence Minister accepted on global stage that Pakistan has indeed been doing the dirty work of funding and training terrorists, but for the US for the last 3 decades. And if that was not all, today yet another minister stood tall on the floor of the House and Assembly in Pakistan and gloated about securing a UN shield for Lashkar offshoot, the resistance front, the very terror outfit that had initially claimed responsibility for the Pahalgam attack. Listen in.
यूएस ने एक प्रेस रिलीज इसी सिस्टम के तहत दी, मुझे कॉपी मिल गई। उसमें पाकिस्तान के बिहाफ पे मेरे 2 इतराज़ात थे। एक उसमें पहलगाम लिखा हुआ था सिर्फ, और दूसरा उसमें ब्लेम डाला गया था द रेजिस्टेंस फोरम, और उस पे उसको कंडेम किया गया, उसको जिम्मेदार ठहराया गया उस प्रेस रिलीज में। तो मुझे आई, मैंने देखा, मैंने कहा ये एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं। पहलगाम के साथ आपको लिखना पड़ेगा जम्मू एंड कश्मीर। वो कहते हैं आप पे ब्लेम आएगा, प्रेस रिलीज नहीं हुई, इतना बड़ा वाकया हुआ, आपके जावर एक्सप्रेस भी ये आई थी, कंडेमनेशन की, टेररिस्ट एक्टिविटी को कंडेम किया गया था। मैंने कहा वी आर रेडी, बट प्लीज यू हैव टू पुट इन जम्मू एंड कश्मीर एंड हैव टू डिलीट दिस TRF। अल्लाह के फजल करम से जनाब चेयरमैन, पाकिस्तान के को ये मुबारक हो और आपको कि हमने वो दोनों चीज़ें अमेंड करके वो प्रेस रिलीज पर जारी हुई और पाकिस्तान के मौक़िफ़ को तस्लीम किया गया।
Look how their own leaders are actually standing in their assembly and parliament and talking about terror groups getting protection and them being responsible for it at the UN. What does it tell you? Pakistan surely is also rattled because India hasn't really let up the pressure, not in terms of words and also in terms of what it is saying is coming. On one hand, leaders are holding midnight press conferences, worried about an initiation of war, warning of strikes from the Indian side, and they're also basking in their delusion in the daytime. Listen in.
Pakistan has credible intelligence that India intends carrying out military action against Pakistan in the next 24 to 36 hours.
कि वो वक्त दूर नहीं है कि जब बाबरी मस्जिद की पहली ईंट उसकी बुनियाद में पिंडी से एक आम सिपाही लगाएगा और उसमें पहली अजान पाकिस्तान का सिपह सालार आसिम मुनीर देगा।
Well, Pakistan is spooked. Is the reality setting in that this time around they will not be able to get away? Major Manik M. Jolly, defense expert, and also Vikram Singh, former IPS, joining us on the show. Major Jolly, I come to you. What do you make of these statements that are coming in from Pakistan? I mean, their own leaders are actually sitting in parliament and defending terror groups, offshoots of Lashkar-e-Taiba, the group that made a mockery of itself, at least, and publicly, in a way, gave an admission when it first claimed responsibility for Pahalgam, then trembled in its boots and said, oh, we've done an internal audit, and somebody made an unauthorized post on our behalf. I mean, this has become laughable. We're talking about a very serious issue, but it's laughable what is happening in Pakistan.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for inviting. What I'll say, any responsible country, you would never have a minister or leader actually even associating themselves with a terror group.
Yes.
You would never see them saying. But for them to actually take it proudly that we made sure that their name is not mentioned is a complicit agreement, right? It's like they are displaying that these guys have been working with us for a very long time and we fought for them to get their name removed from the press release. Also, you have to understand Pakistan a little bit. The terror groups, especially these Hafiz Saeed ones and LDTs and JEM, they are so big that these ministers actually run by their blessings. So this is kind of a show and tell from this minister's side to see, I'm fighting for you. See, I'm getting your name removed. So he's a representative of a terrorist group which the Pakistan government and army has always been. And he's presenting a proof in the parliament indirectly to his terror. Aka is the word which the PM used in his speech, right? That here we are fighting for you and getting your name removed. This is a great actually proof for India that the terror network in Pakistan does not run independently and without agreement with the government and the army.
Yes.
And within the army and government, they just want to up each other by telling who's a better supporter to them, because they know at the back end these are the guys calling shots.
Yeah, absolutely. Vikram Singh, your take on this as well, because, the commentary in Pakistan tells you a lot, not just in the state that they're in, but also just the mindset that they have. On one hand, they're calling world leaders saying, oh, let India not act against us. They're also saying, oh, if you do this, we'll do twice. They are dreaming of building a Babri Masjid in India. I mean, just the mindset. I mean, Asim Munir's speech showed that mindset. And that what the lady senator said showed it again.
I thought in your opening remarks, you summed it up very beautifully, that it is getting to be delirious. I said that buffoonery has attained a different level now altogether. And this lady in the parliament says that the first azan would be given by Munir.
Yes.
Munir is absolutely shaking and his knees are shaking. I don't think that anything is possible in the wildest possible dreams. Coming to the fact that now it is established beyond doubt that terrorism is a state policy of Pakistan, a failed state, a bankrupt state, and a rogue state. It has no option left but to indulge in terror. And what Major Jolly has said, words of profound wisdom, that all these terrorists are the other side of the Pakistan army. They enjoy all the assets of Pak army, their missiles, their vehicles, their planes, and the entire infrastructure. It's only a different matter that, yes, that they dress up as in salwar suits and other camouflage equipment, but they are the alter ego of the Pakistan army. And then the one thing interesting has happened, that they created terrorism for the last 3 decades at the behest of US. When the unwelcome truth seem to be true, I will not confirm or contradict what the Pakistani army or the people are saying. But the ground reality is that they are absolutely in folded hands, kneeling and sitting in prayer. Another wise person said that we expect an attack from India in the next 24 to 26 hours. Yes. I don't know what stopwatch or calibration he seems to be using. The fact of the matter is that they are delirious, absolutely scared, and with $1 billion of reserves, I don't think they will last even for a few hours, what to talk of a few days. Now, to the open support that they gave to the TRF, the Lashkar-e-Taiyiba, and also celebrated Pahalgam, goes to show that their concern is absolutely to fund and to create a situation, and then to tell that it is a homegrown terror in Kashmir, which is nothing but absolutely. Pakistan, in any case, is a serial and an habitual liar, and the lies have been exposed right across the world, beginning from the identification of Osama bin Laden near the Army Academy till date, the TRF and others. Cosmetic changes give you no reason to be very proud.
No, today though, they don't just keep exposing themselves. Let's not forget, when they initially denied Pulwama, a year later, again in their assembly, one of them ended up accepting it. So, truth has a way of coming out, and they're in this quandary, right? What to take credit of, but this desire to take credit of actions. I mean, Pervez Musharraf is very famous for claiming "Hamare log," right? So it comes out. It comes out eventually, and these attempts are just absolutely futile. But it also shows that today there is a nervousness, because they're also calling other world leaders, their allies, friends, etc., and saying, "Oh, look, India is threatening us. Please ask them. We want to have a neutral or impartial probe. We are happy to do." We've done these probes in the past. We know that those probes are shams. So certainly India is not paying heed to this. I request our guests to just stay with us, because in the aftermath of this Pahalgam terror attack, what has also come to light post the action by the centre is some alarming tales. Tales of those being deported back. Centre's 48-hour deadline asking Pakistani nationals to leave India has come to an end, and it has shed light on national security concerns. Some of these Pakistani nationals being deported have been living in India for 40 to 45 years. They hold Indian Aadhaar cards, ration cards. Some say they've even voted in India. Forget about the fact that they're studying here, they have entire families here. They're not Indian citizens. They don't enjoy Indian citizenship. They don't, in many cases, have valid visas or papers to stay on. How did our system miss this? Some of them are making a humanitarian case now, but can India really afford to let them stay? Can India risk the lives of its own for the sake of illegals? Take a look at some of these stories. Osama, a student currently pursuing bachelor's degree, says he's been living in India for 17 years, has cast his vote in elections in India. Listen in.
अभी मैं करंटली मैं परसू कर रहा हूँ अपना बैचलर्स इन कंप्यूटर साइंस। मेरा फाइनल सेमेस्टर चल रहा है। जून में मेरे एग्जाम्स थे, तो मेरे कुछ और प्लान्स थे कि एग्जाम्स खत्म करके मैं जॉब्स के लिए इंटरव्यू के लिए मैं प्रिपेयर कर रहा था। लेकिन अचानक से जब सब चीज़ होना, ठीक है, ये बहुत अफेक्ट करती है। हम यहाँ पे 17 सालों से, हम 2008 में आए थे, 24/11/2008 में। तो हमने विद इन 15 डेज यहाँ पे आते ही हमने वीजा स्टे करवाया था। हमारे हर एक डॉक्यूमेंट्स यहाँ के बने, आधार कार्ड है, इलेक्शन कार्ड है, राशन कार्ड है, हमारा डोमिसाइल है मेरी यहाँ की, बाकी सारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स मेरे बने। अब मैं यहाँ से कहाँ जाऊँगा? इस चीज़ को, इस इंसिडेंट को हम कंडेम करते हैं, हम इसके बिल्कुल खिलाफ हैं। आई हैव डन माई 10th and 12th एज वेल फ्रॉम दिस साइड, राइट। सो अभी मैं परसू कर रहा हूँ बैचलर्स, तो मैं कहाँ जाऊँगा? वहाँ पे जाऊँगा, मेरा फ्यूचर क्या है वहाँ पे?
सरकार को तो ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए ना।
अभी पाकिस्तान के साथ आपका कोई लिंक नहीं है?
नहीं, कभी बात भी नहीं हुई, कभी गई भी नहीं। बलांगीर में मेरी है, बस मैं ही हूँ।
आपके बच्चे?
हाँ, बच्चे, एक लड़की की शादी हो गई है, लड़के की भी शादी हो गई है, पूरी फैमिली। वो इंडियन ही है, मैं ही खाली पाकिस्तानी हूँ बस। तो अभी मैं चाहती हूँ, पूरी फैमिली को नहीं छोड़ सकती, मैं अपने बच्चों के साथ रहना चाहती हूँ। मैं आप लोगों को, सरकार को, मोदी सरकार को भी बेनती कर रही हूँ, मेरे को बच्चों से अलग मत करो।
हमारी अभी नई शादी हुई है, 2 माह हुए हैं शादी को, हमने LTV अप्लाई किया हुआ है, अंडर प्रोसेस आ रहा है और हमें ऐसे भेज रहे हैं नोटिस भेज के। ये तो गलत बात है ना। सरकार से यही अपील है, जिनकी शादियां हुई हैं उनको यहाँ रहने दें, नेशनैलिटी उनको दें, आप LTV अप्लाई किए हुए आप उनको दें।
ये मैसेज है।
तो कितने सालों से यहाँ पर रह रहे थे?
ये 45 साल से।
तो किस वजह से आज यहाँ से इनको भेजा गया
है? ये पाकिस्तानी। हमारी सरकार से यही अपील है, हम अगर गलत हैं, हुकूमत से कोई गलत करते हैं, कोई CID गलत हो, हमारे कुंबे की, हमारी बरादरी।
India has made some notable exceptions though. Shamima Begum, mother of Shaurit Chakrawarti Mudassar Sheikh, who was killed in an encounter with Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists near Baramulla in May 2022, has been taken off the repatriation list. So it's not like there is no human interface as far as these cases are concerned. But now that this curious case of Pakistani nationals has come to light, who do we blame really for this? This is a security nightmare that has been unearthed. And who's responsible? Let's take that to our guests. Major Manik M. Jolly and Vikram Singh continue to be with us. Vikram Singh, I mean, you're a former DGP of a state. What do you make of this situation? How are these people continuing to live in India with no, no papers, formal papers, no citizenship, no passport? They've got all their IDs in India, but they're Pakistani nationals?
Lapse of the worst kind. Now, I'll tell you the ingredients of the security lapse. We have not been able to faithfully enforce NRC or the CAA, but that apart, what we could have done was ensure that our petty politicians and petty political interest of appeasement did not allow our politicians to enforce this kind of a mass movement of illegal Bangladeshi migrants, Pakistanis and Rohingyas, and to have a confirmed vote bank to ensure their victory in elections.
No, one second. Mr. Vikram Singh, once again, this doesn't seem like a case of absolute illegal migrants. These are people who have some people-to-people contact and familial relationships across the border lines. My question is, given our nature of relationship with Pakistan, how are these people just continuing without having to abandon their Pakistani citizenship and becoming a naturalized citizen?
These people have bought their presence in India. Every police station in the country has a register that goes by the name of Lapata Pak Nationals. And that has a documentation of all Pak nationals who are either illegally entered India or who have just gone underground. And it is the job of the police and the intelligence to pursue them vigorously, man by man, woman by woman, and child by child. But the success rate is minimal, and for whatever reason, and the reasons are very obvious, that we did not pursue them with the vigor and the thoroughness with which it should have been pursued. And I would strongly blame the authorities that they should have given the topmost priority to this aspect. To the contrary, it was given the lowest priority. And I dare say, and I must admit, that there's an element of brazen corruption in this as well.
No, absolutely. Because, Mr. Jolly, it's not like we didn't know who these individuals are. Certainly, they've been identified now.
Yeah, so I would say they've been known for a long. It's just, I think, lack of political will that nobody was wanting to send them out. Because what happens in border areas, and it's been known that people marry across the borders, across the line of control, and they used to move around quite frequently. You have wife in one village, you have another wife in another village. across the border. So these guys used to frequent it, used to be a normal thing, acceptable. But the thing is, since situation changed in the last 20, 30 years, this should have been brought to notice. Imagine the CRPF guys who's marrying his Pakistani woman.
Yes.
A little bit of input, even saying where my unit is going, and she sending it back to her hometown. I mean, this is a security nightmare. And you can say some of it would be happening. Fine. There are a lot of them who have acquired Aadhaar card and are studying here and all that. So they should be sent back. I mean, war is a tough business. You can't, either you can keep 1.4 billion safe or listen to these 20,000 people. There is no compromise on security in these issues. And whatever said and done, the government has to take these tough calls if you have to enforce security and safety for people. We can't be so unsafe in our country that we can't visit Pahalgam or any other place. And the reason is, even an inadvertent or even an innocent input going back to Pakistan through these people is actually a security lapse. So you have to cut this issue at the root and send them all back. I'm totally in agreement with it.
No, but has this happened over the years because of this entire narrative of people-to-people contact being allowed? I mean, for that CRPF Jawan's case that you're talking about, aren't there service rules where you have to disclose if you're manning a foreign national? That to a Pakistani?
There absolutely are. In army, if I wanted to marry a Pakistani, I would be asked to leave actually. Or you can't be in uniform and married to a Pakistani. You can't do that. So I don't know how the CRPF chain of command works, how they allowed it, because in army you do take permission before marrying and give the details of the lady you are marrying.
Yes.
But I am surprised at the bureaucracy that this is unimaginable, that in a uniform force you would have somebody marrying a Pakistani national.
Yes.
This is like the extreme of anything. Rest of the people I can still understand, they are married across. You have Sania Mirza married into Pakistan. So the marriages across the border have been a trend. But for them living here, and if the government is ready to take a stand, it's all right to send everybody back.
It's not just about the fact that they're living here. The fact is many of them have lived here without having taken any citizenship of India. And then the question arises, how do they get Aadhaar cards? How do these individuals vote? I mean, is our democracy an absolute mockery, Vikram Singh? This is clearly a bureaucratic failure, political failure, but also a bureaucratic failure. Their names clearly exist somewhere in some list that now they've been asked to go back.
Shivani ji, obviously this is a terrible administrative lapse on multiple counts. I would say there is no place of misplaced compassion when national security is concerned. I totally agree with Major Jolly that national security is of paramount importance. And as he very rightly mentioned, the government servant conduct rule says that if I even interact, what to talk of marrying a Pakistani, even if I interact with a Pakistani national, I have to report to this government under what circumstances I met the Pakistani and then explain either if I have to take a prior permission or if I do accidentally meet a Pakistani at a party, then I really have to report it to my military boss that this was the marriage celebration and I met a Pakistani and I was there. Because this is something that the very basic rudiments of government servant conduct rules. And the question of visiting Pakistan or a Pakistani visiting, staying with me is absolutely unacceptable. The foreigner that says any foreigner visiting, a report has to go to the superintendent of police in 24 hours.
I mean, this is exposed such a lacuna in our system. Major Jolly, just a final question. I've got 30 seconds left. What would you say to those who say, see, they themselves are making the case. These are, in many cases, aged men, women. They have children who are Indians or in some cases Pakistani, but the woman or the man is not of the same nationality. You know, they're crying in front of television cameras today because of the decision the government has finally taken after, I don't know when it was last taken, if it was at all. How would you respond to them?
I would say, sorry, tough call. I mean, this is national security at stake. You can't actually keep, if the government start listening to everybody and start modifying policies, because he's crying and she's crying, we'll always be the joke where Aadhaar cards can be made at the drop of the hat. You have to take these calls and you have to send them back. Fine, some people will have a difficult family life, but tough luck. That's all. Nobody asks you to enter illegally and get married here.
Yeah, nobody asked you to continue to stay here when you don't have the papers. Yeah. Also, some people will say, why let innocent citizens suffer? I will only say innocent citizens did suffer in Pahalgam.
Exactly.
You have to prioritize what happened in Pahalgam over what may be lower levels of suffering of others. And certainly time has come to draw a line as far as this case is concerned. I do thank our guests for joining us. Pleasure talking to you.